Hello, hello, hello. Just doing some housekeeping. Not sure how many we're going to get on, but those who may see the restream of this is Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy News Service, Sound of Joy Music Services, and I'm doing something new as I prepare for new concepts in the year 2022, where I am going to be breaking down songs live. For those of you who are avid gospel musicians, or who just want to get that feel of what it's like to learn a song. And I'll use songs that are on YouTube. So I'm just, if you see me turn my head, I'm looking to see who comes in. Let me see if I can. I've got two monitors here. I'll tell you what this. Let's get my.
Good afternoon.
Let's get my other monitor up, so I don't miss anybody that comes into the room. Just going to my YouTube channel. Um, as I say, most times I will pre-record something, a song, or if I do get a request. Welcome, Joshua. If I get a request, go to my page. I'll do a song from that. But very rare have I taken a song live and break it down. And as I'm looking to evolve in what I've been doing, welcome, Elsha, and welcome, Siobhan. I'm looking to create my own podcast, so you are getting a trial run, you might say. This is a trial run of what I want to be doing. I'm just going to my page here on YouTube so that I can monitor better what's happening. Except it won't let me go to my page. My channel, there it is. Well, good afternoon to you. There it is. Now I see it live. Just want to turn down the sound. Good afternoon to you. There it is. Now I see it live. Just want to turn down the sound. Okay. Build it as we fly it. I've heard that statement made. Okay, so what I can do now is I can shift my views so that I can be looking better at you and not monitoring. So, as I say, I'm trying this new concept out. I want to be able to have live conversations with you or anyone who has wants to learn how do you take a song apart from the very beginning. Now, what I did was I redid some of my pages. Let me show you what that's going to look like, because I can change my scenes. As you can see, that's my keyboard that's there, and that is a page of gospel songs from YouTube, where under the copyright of fair use, I'm able to play the song a little bit, maybe 10, 15 seconds of it, and then have conversation about it. My conversation is going to be based around chords, the key that it's in, the chords that are being used, and then I'll be able to demonstrate those chords to you and how I take a song apart to play those chords. Let's go back to my live stream setup. So that's what I am demoing. I want to see how that works, and your feedback will let me know if I'm on a good path or not. If you look at this page I'm currently on right now, in my OBS software, I turned this into my live stream setup. So you're seeing me here in the studio. Hopefully this light should stay on. I've tried it now to charge my lights well in advance of me coming online live. And I think I've got everything working the way it should be. So let's see how this is going to work. Let's get started. Let's go to the keyboard page right here. You should still be able to hear me. And I'm going to pull up, again, under the term of fair use, I'm going to play 15 minutes of a song. The first song, Nobody Greater. It's a different breakdown than the original song. well, we'll be able to talk about it. And if you have any questions, I'm monitoring the chat room. So if you have any questions, feel free to say something. Let's go back to the beginning because I already demoed it.
Searched all over, couldn't find nobody greater than the Lord. Is that your testimony?
Now, first thing I need to know is, can you hear that?
We adore you, Jesus. There's nobody greater than you.
All right, I'm going to claim fair use. I'm doing commentary on this song. I'm not playing it to be able to steal it from this copyright page. I am claiming fair use. Got to make sure that I say that. All right. First statement I have for those of you in the chat room: could you hear the music clearly? If you couldn't, then it means I don't have something set up correctly. Was the music too loud? As I say, we're building it as we fly it. Get my spelling down. There we go. You could hear. Good. That's important. That's important. Fair use again for those YouTube police who do monitor this. I appreciate you monitoring it. They actually monitor every video I have. When other people use my videos on their YouTube pages, I do see that. I am notified. Oh, welcome, looking up. I am notified about that also, and I generally let them keep it there because they have maybe 10, 20 viewers, and I'm not going to come after them for using one of my videos to share in a church service or to practice by. I have no problem with that. That's why, again, I have them there. But I understand there are some issues with YouTube. If you're playing someone else's pre-recorded stuff and you're just playing it on your stream, you can't, without permission, unless, of course, you call out fair use and then you do some commentary on it, which is what I'm going to be doing. So now that I know that you can hear it clear, I guess it shouldn't have been too loud. I don't see a monitor here, or other than the volume that's on the song itself. So let's go back to the scene. And we're going to take apart that intro and again, fair use, so we can hear what key this is in. Da, 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 da. Fair use.
Is that your testimony?
All right, fair use. So, sounds like G flat. Yes, I did cheat. So I know it's in G flat. It's in G flat. So, breaking it down. I need another light on. Let me do that real quick. Just hearing the basic chords and hearing that little movement that they put in the front of it. Let's rewind it back. Ba-da-da. Just deconstructing what I'm hearing from the song. Let's play a little more. Went off. They threw an off chord there. See if I can find that chord using my ears.
Searched all over, couldn't find nobody greater than the Lord. Is that your testimony? Father, we love you. We adore you, Jesus.
That's what I heard. There it is. In order to get that run, they got to do these. Music could be a little bit louder. Okay, let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, we got good volume there. Welcome, G-Man. Welcome, G-Man. This is the concept that I'm working on. Let me take you back to me while I look at what I could possibly add in here to bring it up a little bit louder. I know which one it is too. Just gonna add. I've got to add a input. Okay, and let's go get it. Nope, that's not it. Audio input capture, that's correct. Okay, we'll call it that. You should give me the option of capturing from a window. Who joined? Okay. It is going there, so let's send it to. Oh, let's take it from where? Digital audio? Nope, nope. I've done this in the past. Okay, let me do this. I'm remapping all of my audio outputs so that it goes to one device. 1 2 1 2 1 2 input output. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Fair use.
Jesus, there's nobody greater than you.
How's that sound now?
If you know it, let's sing it all over the world. Here we go. I climbed up to the highest mountain.
Fair use. How does it sound now? Oh, you know what? I mapped it there, but I gotta map it to where I'm working. Let's go back to here. And let's see if it's going through.
Searched all over, couldn't find nobody greater than the Lord.
Music sounds all right
Is that
now.
your testimony?
Music sound better now? Along with, of course, with my talking. And of course, the keyboard. Okay. Thanks, Josh. I hoping that I got it right the first time I tried it. So this is the concept that I'm going to be working on. We're going to be having live stream sessions breaking down songs. You're getting an early view of what I'm going to be doing. Let me just come back in here and bring you back to me. You're getting an early take on what I'm going to be doing. I picked up just one YouTube channel that has 20 best playlists of gospel songs for 2021. So this gives me an opportunity to do a real-time live session with everyone, showing you how I break down a song and giving you some chords and some basic understanding of how music is being put together. I'm not going to go back to the hymns. I'm not going to go to the anthems or the spirituals, but we're going to work on what's current right now, all the rewrites, all the rearrangements, what songs are getting the 53 million views, as I often say, the four chord songs. How is that song put together, both musically and vocally by those that are singing it, so that you can get the best interpretation of how that song, that you could play that song. Oh, great. I've got the Korg Chrome, which I've been sort of leaving out of what I've been doing a lot because it's got the 88 keys, and this is setup I have here fits better. But I'm going to be reintroducing that keyboard back in some of my own personal performances I will be doing in 2022. All right. Again, this is sort of a trial run, so you tell me what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. Let's go back into the song now that we got the sound worked out. Go back to the beginning and see if we can work out some of those chords. Fair use, fair use. I'm breaking down. I am doing a critique and breaking down the song as a lesson for musicians. Here we go. That first chord. That's the chord I'm hearing. Elements of it. Different elements of it. With that bass at the bottom. Okay, let's go a little further. Fair use.
Father, we love you. We adore.
What is that chord they're putting there? Because I do want to break it down. So let's see what that chord is. Fair use.
Searched all over, couldn't find nobody greater than the Lord. Is that your testimony?
Bass stays the same at G flat. What's this next chord?
We adore.
Wow. Because they went outside of the scale there. Nope. Again, these are the songs that I don't take the time to learn because I don't have to. So these strange chords now, I have to tune my ear to it.
Couldn't find one.
Okay, see, what does that change?
Here we go.
Fair use, just breaking down a song.
Looked all around. Could.
Come on, go back a little more.
Searched all over, couldn't find nobody greater than the Lord. Is that your testimony?
Fair use.
Father, we love
Give me
you.
this chord.
We adore you, Jesus.
Mm. Okay. E flat. Could be. Fair use. That's as close as I can come. They went to a E flat major over a G flat. Sounds horrible unless you stretch it out there. All right. How we doing so far? You are my critique artist. If whether or not this is doing okay. Okay, let's keep going. That's just the beginning. I don't think I'll be able to exactly master the song in one session. Let's go a little further. Fair use.
There's no.
Ah, I heard that chord. That might be the chord, which is the same thing I played there. Music. That's how intricate music is. One note can change the whole look and feel of a song. Fair use. Let's continue.
Nobody greater than you. If you know it, let's sing it all over the world. Here we go. I climbed up to the highest
Fair
mountain.
use.
Looked all around.
Okay.
Couldn't find nobody.
Oh, stop it right there. Okay. So, getting into the real meat of the song. Ah. There it is. E rather. B, and then right to the G flat. For those that are familiar with the song in this format. Fair use. This is a lesson. Three, four, full chords. So I get used to these chords. All right. Breaking it down. Okay, let's see. What fair use. Next part of the song.
No.
Dun, 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 dun. As you know, I stress scales so that your fingers can be able to find those notes. Get the right fingers there. It's all part of the song. Again, fair use. You are breaking down the song, having commentary about how the instrumentalist and the songwriter works within the context of this song. How am I doing so far? Let me come back and let you see me. So yes, you are getting the first-hand look of what Sound of Joy and my services are going to be doing. We're going to have these type of what I call podcasts, where we're going to be taking apart these songs which you're currently using today. As you can see, I've got my podcast set up here. Redid the way this page looks purposely, showing the Sound of Joy Music Services logo, and set of black and white keys, which is kind of why this is about getting to the sound of music from the keyboard. Any questions so far? Again, I'm conscious of what the copyright rules are here on YouTube. They don't like it when you are playing someone else's song, so I have to keep saying fair use. If you hear me say fair use, it's because I want whoever is watching, who will be watching this video, to know that I am not trying to clout or get clout by playing someone else's song on my page, but I want to be able to tear the song, break the song apart for those who are learning to get more comfortable. Richard Smallwood is a good example of many of his songs. One note change and install a difference in the world. Yes, and if you have been keeping up with on Facebook, there was a very lengthy conversation that went on when Richard Smallwood just put out there a very, I won't say a comical post, but he had posted in good conscience the fact that if somebody sends him a tape of them playing his song and they play that one, if they played a G flat on the second note, he throws away the tape. He says, if you're going to play my music, at least play it correctly. He says, I can't hear the song after I hear you play one note correctly. And did the comments come out from, quote unquote, the world of church musicians, who felt that, thank God somebody's playing your song, or you don't know if the anointing that when we played, with the notes we played, is better than the one you had. And it was so much controversy. I actually penned it in. I typed in the correct notes that the song has, exactly written from those who would have. I always keep mine handy right here. If you're a musician and you don't have this book, you're doing yourself a disservice, because Total Praise is in this book. And it is in the correct, for the vocal standpoint, it's got the correct page number 113. In this, you will find Total Praise, and it has the correct notes choir vocal wise in there. And it will show you that there is no G flat when you go Lord on the word I. There is no G flat there. But many musicians, and again, we try to diminish the skill sets of every musician. I don't. I often say I haven't arrived. For as many years as I've been playing, I don't have it down. I'm learning. I'm going to jazz musician training pages, learning how to play jazz, because I don't know how to play jazz. I may add elements of it, a little trickle, a little thing here and there, a different chord phrase that I like, that I practiced over the years, but I don't know jazz. goodness, I dare for me to go to a jazz musician and say, "Oh, I can play as good as you." No, I play as good as I can play. Whatever I'm called upon to play, I make sure I give it my all, and my ability to be able to interpret what I'm playing. So if I play something wrong, chances are I learned it wrong, or I learned it from someone else who wasn't playing it right. But given a chance to hear a correct interpretation of a song, I will play the correct interpretation first and then change it to, add my own seasoning, my own flavoring. But and yes, G-Man, and I appreciate that. When I first heard Richard Smallwood make the statement, no, someone else made the statement, for you guys that are playing his song, this is or Lord, I will lift mine eyes to the hill. Everybody was playing that B major on Hills. I watched the video, and he said, you know what, Richard Smallwood never puts that B major song in his song. It's always going to be a B flat because it's a classical tone. I had to go back and listen to the song, and I said, he's absolutely right. I went the gospel way. When you go, Lord, Lord, I will lift mine eyes to the. That's that gospel, that B major, that gospel feel. Because again, we always want to consider ourselves to be led of the Spirit, and that's a wrong way to take music. You're led by your ear. You're led by the ability of your fingers to move. There's no spirit telling you this is the right note, this is the wrong note. It's wherever your hands land, and if it sounds good to you and good to somebody else, you say, "Oh, that's got to be it." But when you land it, let me just change my scene here. When you do it correctly, Lord, that's the correct note, will lift mine eyes to the, that's the correct note. B flat, not the B major. A very comical comment he made. Hey, if somebody sent me sent him a tape of him playing that song and they play that wrong note, he says, I can't hear the rest of the song from that because you started wrong. He would throw it out. Chuckle. But a host, over 800, I think, comments flew just from that. And they weren't all kind. I have to be honest with you. They weren't all kind. You ought to be glad somebody's playing your song, and, we got an anointing too. And it's those kind of conversations are not helpful. I think what you do is you acknowledge the fact that a tremendous songwriter who wrote a song that's over 30 years old and is still considered a classic, give the man his due, play it like he likes to hear it, and then next time around, give the opening verse 3 choruses or 5 choruses if you want to start changing it around, or do your own rendition of it. It's just, I've written songs that most people don't play because my songs have a lot of musical melody content to it. And I don't make it difficult that way. I make it so that if you can play the melody, you can play the song, because the chords are generic. I may add a sprinkle, a little of this here and there. That's what you learn, is that little bit of a sprinkle. But I don't feel bad if they don't play it correctly. Don't feel bad at all. Again, it's not a lot of my songs people play, but for those that I've heard play, I go, okay, I have no problem. Again, mine won't be last 30 years and won't be put in an actual hymnal. So let's get back to what I was doing and go back to fair use. This is the concept that I want to have you to have conversation with those of you who are active in the music industry, and for those who watch this video, I am going to leave it up because I'm calling out fair use so that I'm not giving a copyright strike for infringing on a song's copyright. Let's hear some more from our opening lesson song.
Went down into the deepest valley. Looked all around down there, couldn't find nobody.
Okay, still in the B and the G flat. I think it changes now.
I went across the deep blue sea.
Okay. All right. I went across the deep blue sea. Fair use. Breaking the song down. Okay. As you heard that piano player doing that roll across, as I told you, an arpeggio is just a broken chord. So once you've formed where the chords are and you lift your hand and bring it over, it should stay in place. This is all muscle memory, holding it. Now, change it. B, right? B, B. So if your thumb starts right, everything else should fall in place. You use your sustain pedal so you can get so it holds. That's all that is. For those who don't have this reach, just do the. There we go. Or you can if you want to use your left hand. That's uncomfortable though. Got to be able to have this reach, and this is done again by practicing scales. That frees your hand to be able to move. A B major scale, that's all it is. All right. Fair use. Let's see where else we can go with this.
Couldn't find one to compare.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right.
To your grace, your love, your mercy.
So after you come out of the this whole thing about music, let me just digress a little bit so I can make sure that I break up my space. Timing, fair use. When you're get a little comfortable here. When you're learning a song and you're learning from goodness, tremendous songwriters, musicians who that's their life, playing music. There is a inner technique that says I'm going to play this movement in time and correct. I'm sure there were many retakes so that they could get that timing down perfectly. Can you do that in a live setting, playing a song for the first time in front of your audience after weeks of rehearsal? No. So you get as much as you possibly can in knowing that you're not being recorded to be put on an album. Now, when you reach that level of an album or a studio musician, then yes, you have to be able to get it right. For those that, that play for these tremendous orchestras, that do Disney movies, that do the action movies, the action movies. I love listening to the soundtracks of any movie I hear because I realize those guys are the professionals. They're the guys that sit down with sheet music and they make it happen. Then it goes into a mixing session where it's being mixed so where if the tiniest bell has to be heard in so that when it gets put into the movie with all the other action scenes and all the gunshots, and I love movies that have a lot of action and things blow up, that tiniest bell has to be heard wherever it's placed. And that's what I listen for. I don't just watch for the entertainment, but I listen to the music because that's where I'm not. And am I going to get there? No. But I'm going to enjoy the journey musically of being able to trying to interpret what I hear. Any questions? All right. Again, I'm looking for you. Let me know how I'm doing. This is a concept that I am debuting right now. And I may come off this song and go to another one so that I don't, and again, infringe on the copyright. Let's go back to the site, and let's see how far we can go. Fair use.
See, there's nobody greater than you. Yeah.
Fair
It's
use.
my testimony, everybody. I searched all over.
Okay.
Couldn't find nobody.
All right. Fair use. We got the next change. D flat, the B major. So there are your chords. There are your chords. Now I'm not a singer, but you may hear me sing a little bit, so I can hear where the notes are falling. Greater than you. All right, we're gonna get off that song. I think we've got all the chords. Just make sure fair use.
I looked high and low, and I still couldn't find nobody.
We did those.
There's nobody great. No.
Okay.
Nobody great. There's nobody great.
All right, scales.
Greater than you, yeah.
Fair use.
And this is my part. And nobody can hear.
Okay.
Like you can.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. Just breaking upon the song. Again, I stress scales. All right. See what we got here.
Oh, most holy one.
I believe there's another change coming. Okay, went to the minor.
Awesome in all your
We'll give you that change in there since we got this part in the song.
nobody can hear like you can. Oh, most holy one, you are the great I am. Awesome in all your ways and mighty is your hand.
I use that change. Let me see. I use that change all the time. Different variations of it.
You are he who can. Carried out a redemption plan.
Ooh. Are we going down to an E major? I mean to an E flat? Again, these songs will, fair use, these songs will, from a musician standpoint, blow your mind.
And I searched all over. Come on.
No, that's not what I want. I want how do we get there?
Greater than you, yeah.
Fair use.
And this is my part. And nobody can heal like you can. Oh, most holy one, you are the great I am. Awesome in all your ways and mighty is your hand. You are he who carried out a redemption plan. You are he who carried.
All right, so he's changing keys there. That's your indication that they're going to go to A flat. Yeah, there's your change.
Carried out a redemption plan. I searched all over. Come on. I searched all over. Couldn't find nobody.
All right, so we moved from G flat to A flat using a series of transitions. So we went from is that change? There we go. Now we're going to stop right there. I want to keep these to at 30 minutes, but looks like we're at 40 minutes right now. So fair use again. We're just breaking down a song, showing how a song could be broken down. Let me go back to here. So you have my first introduction into my break it down sessions. This is what I'm going to be doing in the year of 2022. Not just this song, but I'm going to be scouring the internet for what are the songs of 2022. What are the songs that are popular, the songs that are being the most effective in where they're being played. G-Man, I religiously look at YouTube videos and Facebook videos of churches, and I see the need for what I'm doing right now, because I don't see them going back to the traditional church anymore. I don't see the choir anymore. A lot of my upbringing in music was centered around the choir and soloist. Just put that down so I can be a little more comfortable. That headsets I use when I hit the piano, so I don't get feedback through the speakers here. But I see a trend where you're not going to have 30 voice choirs anymore. With the current state of the health crisis here in this country, where you can't have rehearsals because you don't want to get people sick in a rehearsal, that means less time for learning choir type songs where you're going to have altos, tenors, and sopranos singing over one another, and have musicians even in rehearsal. It's going to go to what song can we teach over the internet? What song can we have our 3 or 4 voices who will be in the front of the microphone spaced out in a church sing? that can be effective. I've heard more ineffective singing over 2021 than I've in any other time with my listening to the new wave of church where it's either done through a live stream on Facebook or through a Zoom setting. Musicians don't know soundboards. They don't know how to line input the instruments, how to monitor when one microphone is louder than the other microphone. Usually the lead microphone and one tenor or one alto has the strongest microphone, and it really overcompensates for it makes for a bad listening experience, because you can hear the professionals do it. Somebody can do it in their home studio, and it sounds like it's a Broadway production, because they have a sense of. As you see me here, setting up my microphones and setting up the sound, trying to give you the best quality sound I possibly could, because I know that I can do that with the M1 setup and the keyboards and the USB mixer that I have here. This microphone, it's a USB microphone. I'm looking at doing an upgrade on it in 2021, because I acknowledge all the sites I go to have the $300 microphone. They all do. I think I paid $69 for this one, which again, hopefully it sounds great. Usually when I go back and I review the live streams, I go, okay, that mic sounded pretty good. But then I hear the mics when I listen to someone else's stream, and I go, yeah, but I can get better. And that's what I'm looking at doing. This new concept, breaking down songs, it's a concept that I want to do. Because I noticed that we're not going back to Blessed Assurance. We're not going back to I Surrender All. We're not going back. Those songs were for the full church setting, the church experience. Songs where you sung that when ministered to people who are hurting, they could come to the altar and be prayed for. Now you can't do that. It's a lot difficult to do that now. Not until the end of what's going on, the health issues ends. I don't see that going back until this ends. Doesn't mean that it won't ever be back. I hope to see it back in my time period, because I'd like to be able to go back into a church, not as a musician, but as a parishioner, and see a choir march in and see the various voices, the youth, the teenage, the young adult, the middle age, and the old, stand and sing songs from the era that their age group works. Again, I'm from the 70s, 80s era. I'd love to be able to hear Hawkins songs and Andre Crouch songs from that era being sung. To hear children singing "Break Every Chain." I says, no, child, you don't know what. The only chain you know is chain on your bicycle. You can't be singing "Break Every Chain," and you're not even 17 years old. It just doesn't sound right. But that's me. That's what I want to be able to see, and then to be able to share in giving musicians a path to my era, and now an understanding of how you can now bridge some of this newer music. I've never played Nobody Greater. You're hearing me play it for the very first time, in taking the song apart. There's a lot of intricate movement going on in there, which I showed you some of it. That's things where you in rehearsal 20 hours trying to get it timed right, and then when you get into church, somebody misses a cue, and then you miss putting that in the song. Well, you don't get frustrated, but you like that. You appreciate the fact that you took the time to actually practice that, because that's a movement that I've never done before. What's that? I think you can hear it. I don't have the keyboard. I have the keyboard tied to that. That's a movement I've never had to play before. So now I may go back and listen to it and go, okay, I can't use this in anything else, but I can store it away, knowing that that's a movement that I can possibly do. Well, I'm going to bring this to a close. We're coming up on the first hour. It's 55 minutes now. I will leave this live stream up, and I will share it on my Facebook page just to get some feedback and some comments. I want to be able to evolve as not just a let me show you how to do it, but let me show you why they have this chord there, how this chord is formed, how to deconstruct a song down to its basic elements. If you're just like in my case, a single musician, you don't have a band around you. So a lot of things that a bass player would be doing, you'd have to now substitute that on your left hand. That's why I say practicing scales on your left hand is so important, so that you could mimic a bass sound. Sorry for the bass players out there that don't like that, but not every church has a competent bass player. So if you can mimic a sound of a bass sound and play the chord over it, you've filled up that song. That's what I want to be able to demonstrate. And for the YouTube people that are looking at this and saying, "Oh, he's copyright infringement," I believe I've said fair use before I got started, and I'm still saying fair use. I am tearing apart a song in front of musicians to be able to make them better musicians from a complete composition by the songwriters and those who have labored to do this. So I am not trying to take anything from them, but other than their skills and using what I've learned in my years, share that and shed, as we say, with other musicians. Well, again, I thank you all for coming in. Just want to acknowledge those who are here. Joshua, I want to say Elisha. Yes, G-Man, Siobhan Reynolds. Thank you all for coming in and spending some time with me. I do appreciate it. This is not my first. This is just the initial one. I need to play it back and hear my mistakes, find out where I was talking too much or where I didn't talk enough. I appreciate your comments that you have placed there. Of course, this video will stay up, so if you have more comments, I would appreciate that. I'm going to send you out on I got a send out page here. Oh, welcome, Mr. Valentine. Thank you. I didn't notice you were there. I have a send out page. Let me see if I can get it right to the right spot. So I'm going to take you out on this send out.